guys, welcome back to my channel, your online cultural hub that deals with everything culture, music, art, fashion and film. Today we will be reviewing eating scenes as part of this film review series where we discuss and rate niche aspects of film out of 5 to see which is the best. Eating in film presents a very relatable, mundane and realistic act for audiences to watch, which is why it's so often utilised in film. The dinner table is prime subject for human behaviour to play out. First we have the famous ratatouille. The penultimate scene of the movie sees the stern and villainous food critic Anton Ego finally sitting down to taste Linguini's famously delicious food, which, as we all know, was actually made by Remy the Rat. The dish being ratatouille itself, which is a French vegetable stew, if anyone didn't know. You have the flashback which reveals Ego's emotional ties to the dish. It's very dramatic here, and the first time that we see this incredibly cold and slender French man smile, which is heartwarming. And everyone loves the dish. The scene is very iconic and the film as a whole is generally loved by many and scores highly across film websites with a score of 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to score it a 4 out of 5, purely because it looks so delicious as an animated food. Next is from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. On his trip to retrieve the stolen ancient stone by an evil priest from a village in East India, Indiana Jones and his accomplices stay the night in a lavish palace where they dine in a banquet hosted by the young Maharaja. They are served some extremely exotic and honestly unlikely foods. The accomplices' disgusted reactions take place alongside Indiana's serious talk with one of the guests. Ah yes, it's classic Indian dishes, eyeball soup and monkey brains. Ironically, India is a country with the largest population of vegetarians. Albeit funny because of these shocking exaggerations and inaccuracies, I'll score this a 3.
Let the feast begin.
Next is another banquet scene from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the first film of the series. It takes place after a very young Harry, Hermione and Ron have met for the first time and they sit down to eat as Dumbledore hosts their first ever feast at the school. It's also the first time that Harry is indirectly introduced to Snape and is immediately curious and suspicious, detailing the nature of a relationship that was to carry on throughout all 7 films. If my school served food like that, I would never go home.
That's kind of mean.
What?
Like on mum.
No, I would. Nearly headless? How can you be nearly headless? Overall, the scene is iconic to the series as it introduces the personalities of the main characters. And it's just very grand and it's probably the best banquet in terms of food selection that I've ever seen. So I'll give it a 3.5. Next is the eating scene between Matt Damon and Minnie Driver in the film Good Will Hunting. It is a romantic setting in which the characters are on a first date. The characters themselves are very relaxed, but the scene somewhat feels dramatic with the slow zoom of the camera and isolated location. The sandwich kiss is also very funny. I give this a 4.5.
Very biased though.
I really love this film.
Let them eat cake.
The lavish shoes and cake scene from Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette encompasses the opulent lifestyle of the French royal and her shopaholic tendencies. It's very aesthetically pleasing with the combination of pastel colours and sweet treats. The montage is highly effective. I give this a 3.5.
I like candy.
Fair. This pie scene is probably the most memorable scene from The Help for its famous catch line.
Eat my shit.
Here, Octavia Spencer's character takes revenge on her racist employer after she gets fired. Despite the general white saviour complex expressed throughout the film, this scene stands alone as a funny, powerful and cathartic moment, and for that I give it a 3.5.
What'd you say?
And finally, we have literally any film with Brad Pitt. He's truly mastered eating on screen. It's like nobody tells him that they're rolling and they just film him eating.
Or maybe he just can't act and doesn't know what to do with his hands, so he has to...
He's just
eat.
awkward.
Yeah. Or hungry. Maybe he's just always hungry.
Because he's so talented in this area of expertise, we'll give his whole career of eating on screen a solid 4 out of 5.
Big love, Mr. Pitt.
We love you, Brad Pitt.
Wait, do we? Because isn't he dating like a fucking 25-year-old now?
No, it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, I'm pretty sure Brad Pitt is dating someone really young as well.
Oh gosh, not Brad Pitt. The sandwich date scene from Good Will Hunting scores the highest and is the winner. Woo! Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of these scenes below in the comments section and give any suggestions of any weird, random, niche, interesting aspects of films that you'd like to see be reviewed. Stay tuned for next week's video. We'll be reviewing famous landmark scenes in film. I've just realised none of them are centred around women.
That's because women aren't allowed to eat.
Oh yeah. Brad Pittin or Brad Pittin?
He's a pisses all
Next week we'll be doing a face reveal of Shah.